welcome to another episode of Mental Media. This episode is brought to you by Fume. As you can see, this is not an e-cigarette, but a flavored air cigarette with no combustion. Just pure, delicious, weak as fuck flavored air. Makes you really wish you still had an e-cigarette. Oh wait, I do. Right here. But one day this thing will be in handy. Alright.
Hey, at least you're trying.
Yep.
You look at the bright side. You can put if you run out of what is it, the little cinnamon stick in there. You can just get a cinnamon stick and put it in there.
That might be better.
Uh, so what's on your mind today, Ty?
Oh, just wormholes. Like, 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 imagine you had a wormhole leading from your room to like the bathroom. How much easier it would be to take a shit whenever you wanted to.
That would be pretty nice, but the problem is though, what if someone's in the bathroom when I take a shit through the wormhole? Then I would just
Oh, it's got to be a private bathroom with no doors. It's just like a walled off room with a toilet and it's dark and you just shit through the wormhole and it just goes in there.
So does it have a toilet? Because it's just a room just collecting shit. That'd be bad too.
Yeah, it's got a toilet.
Okay, good.
Then again, if nobody's around to see the toilet because it's walled off, does it really exist?
No. Yes? Possibly. That's just the question. I'm pretty sure I'd smell it through the wall. People would be walking by like, oh my god, what is that smell? Oh!
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
no. Wormholes. Wormholes. You know, I've always wondered, like, okay, so we know they exist, obviously, people do. Now, FYI to people that are watching this, I know very little about science, but I do a good job speculating, and I try to use common facts and, just what makes sense to me. But then I ask a lot of questions because I don't know textbook crap. That requires learning, and learning is a lot of work, and I'm lazy. So, anyways, so wormholes. My understanding of wormholes are you. Okay, so they fold time and space.
Hmm.
So you could have one, say, right above Earth. Of course, that wouldn't make sense because the Earth would get sucked in. But let's just hypothetically say it's above Earth, and the other wormhole could be 10 galaxies away.
Hmm.
But we would be there instantaneously, but through going, was it traveling through it?
Hmm.
So my next question is are we able to, with our technology, map black holes, or not black holes, wormholes?
Map them.
I
Well,
mean, like, are we able to see where they go?
I don't know if we are. I can't remember who said it, but it was on a podcast I watched in the last few months. They said the whole idea of wormholes, people are kind of moving away from that idea as a form of interstellar travel. And
Really?
I don't remember why. I don't know if it's that they no longer think they exist or if it's just finding them is really difficult.
Have we ever found one?
I don't know. They might just be a theory.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know there's a lot of speculation with like, you know, um theorists and stuff like that that are always like talking about, alien stuff. They were talking about like how Stonehenge was like an intergalactical thing and all these different things, which if you believe that or not, I don't know if I do. But um, wormholes, you know, now that we think about or now I think about it, I don't know if we have seen wormhole. If we have, we haven't seen it. I don't think
Hmm.
we have. Now black holes, we've seen those, and those are scary as fuck.
Hmm.
Because from my understanding is they are a star that's imploded.
Yep.
And everything that's sucked into them is returned to matter, meaning it's absolutely destroyed, meaning you can suck a whole planet in there.
Hmm. Sure
That's
can.
scary as shit.
One could just float by tomorrow and suck the Earth in and spit it out. Well, not really spit it out. It would just be in. Yeah.
Well, that would be unfortunate. I think the only way though it would actually be able to happen is if like the sun imploded.
Maybe.
Because it's supposed to be a star or a planet. Which one is it? Star or planet?
Star.
Then it's gotta be the sun. Because if that would implode, then we would have the whole solar system would just blow up, basically.
Well, here's the thing. With the sun, suns go in certain cycles. They have a life cycle, and depends on how big they are. The first thing our sun would do is become a red giant, where it grows and becomes more red, and it would actually engulf Earth just by becoming a red giant. So all the close planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, would their orbit is within
That
um,
radius.
that radius that the sun would grow. Now, the far planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and you could maybe count Pluto. Um, I'm pretty sure they're safe from the red giant expansion, but of course, I'm sure their temperature on those planets would get hotter because the sun's bigger. After that, there there's some other things, but I'm pretty sure our sun is not big enough to become a black hole. So it would become a red giant, and then it would get collapsed down again at some point, and then it would. I don't know if it. I don't know if all of a sudden supernova or it would nova in some way, and it might collapse down into a neutron star, which is like if it's not big enough to collapse into a black hole, then it might do a neutron star, which is just like all neutrons packed together into this really small thing. But it's not quite it doesn't quite have the gravity that a black hole does, so it doesn't collapse into a black hole. But a neutron star still has a lot of uh, matter. It's still very heavy. It still has a gravitational field, but it doesn't really produce any light, so it's
Oh.
hard to detect. So I that's what I think. I'm fairly certain our sun cannot become a black hole.
So isn't it true though? There was like these like there were movies on this and that's like solar flares causing problems with Earth,
Hmm.
frying us. There's that. And then there's the factor of like what is it thing? Solar flares. Yeah, well, let's go with that. Well, what exactly with solar flares makes it? See, oh, that's the other thing. So I've heard, and again, I don't hear from many people, with like shows and whatnot. I've heard that our sun is overdue
For what?
for like going crazy or whatever the hell it's going to do.
Everything's overdue.
Oh, that's lovely. So
Yeah,
we're all on borrowed time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're probably overdue for that. I know we're overdue for the volcano in Yellowstone to erupt. We're
oh
over
God, yeah.
we're overdue for like a supermassive earthquake in California that would possibly make it break off from the United States or something like that. I don't know.
You
We're over.
know, and
Yeah.
I don't know where this would be because I don't know exactly where they theorized it. I heard it was Europe somewhere, but um, like way back when. But Atlantis was kind of like it would be in like California. It was they say technologically advanced, but I don't know about that. I think it was just far along. But point being is that it broke off due to sea rising or an earthquake, and it just sank into the ocean. So California could act like that. If you fell in the ocean, it would just
Well, it can't really just float into the ocean and then sink.
no, it would be more of a landslide. Okay.
The
Okay,
whole.
I'm trying to be smart.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It depends on how the tectonic plates are sitting, but I'm pretty sure. Well, okay. If this is the ocean down here, I'll do it in front of
Hmm.
the camera, and California sitting up here, and this one's going under this one. I don't know if this is how it works, but maybe it could slide into the ocean. I don't know, but it's more like the fault line. I don't know. I can't describe it, but I don't think it would slide into the ocean like that. I think it would just. Well, okay, here's how it could slide into the ocean. Okay, so here's the tectonic plate that, the ocean's over here. California sitting like this, but then there's another fault line over here that's like this, and then because the earthquake happens when the fault lines like
Move.
yeah, so it's like they're rubbing against each other. Like one's moving this way and one's moving this way, and
Oh wow.
then they're like just scraping together, and it shakes the earth. If that somehow breaks, and then there's this one over here, maybe this can slide. I don't know. It's an interesting idea, um, but I don't know if that's how it works. I do have a an interesting. I heard something interesting about Atlantis a while back. Um, so I'm trying to wrap my head around a few different ideas surrounding it. There was there's a theory that's put forth by Graham Hancock and another guy that's working with him, and it's gaining traction amongst archaeologists and um, that whole field of people that study the history of the Earth. A lot of people are resistant to it because of it would upset a lot of ideas that we already have. But the idea is basically that about 10 or 11,000 years ago, a comet struck the North Pole and caused the ice age that we were in to kind of come to an end. It kind of like instantly melted a lot of the ice in the North Pole, and then that caused the great one of the great floods, because a lot of civilizations have these flood myths where the whole world gets flooded. And there's some evidence that 10 or 11,000 years ago some kind of catastrophe happened. And Graham Hancock and this other guy went around and found some evidence for this, and so some people are going along with it. And there's also the other piece to the Atlantis side of it is it was one of the philosophers like Socrates or Plato, as one of them had written about Atlantis and that people could travel there, and this was it wasn't while they were alive, because this catastrophe happened long before, but they were writing about it, and it seemed like it could have been in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So, anyways, the theory that Graham Hancock's putting forth, I don't think he's actually putting forth this theory about Atlantis. That's more speculation, but it could have been there. And here's what might have happened during the Ice Age. There's a ton of ice on North America and Europe, but mostly we're going to focus on North America. If you think of the Earth as like a beach ball, if you put pressure on part of the beach ball, the rest of the beach ball kind of expands, right?
Mhm.
So imagine all the Earth is a little like a beach ball because it's solid, but you take like a big chunk of ice over North America that can kind of push down and cause other parts of the world to push up. So Atlantis might have been in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, kind of up above the water, and then when all that ice melted, it went back down because there wasn't that pressure.
Um,
That's an interesting idea that I heard. Now, there's no real evidence that they haven't found Atlantis in the Atlantic or anything, but that's one way it could have happened.
if it happened.
Yeah.
Interesting. Back to our thing about black holes.
Okay.
I wanted to jump back to that just because I was going somewhere with it and I forgot. Um, so with black holes, I know there is an event horizon,
Yeah.
and there was this funny thing actually that I was watching. I can't remember. I think it was totally fake, but it was Orville, the Orville, which is a knockoff of Star Trek. Really good show, by the way, made by Seth MacFarlane, and same maker that did Family Guy. But when he was in his ship, they went right inside the event horizon of a black hole. Like not in it, but enough in it so that time would go faster for them,
Mhm.
and outside time would pass slowly, as normal. So they're right inside there, and time's passing fast, and then they just cruised out.
No, that can't happen.
Yeah, I figured it can't, but I'm just my thought is that does time speed up when you're closer to a black hole?
It slows down actually.
It slows down.
Yeah. When you get in the black hole, well, the mathematics is starting to show that once you get to the singularity inside the black hole, time actually stops. So time slows down slower and slower and slower until you get to the middle and then it just stops. And you're frozen in time.
Huh. Of course, you'd be matter by then.
Yeah, you wouldn't be much but like a bunch of atoms collapsed down.
Now, now here's another concept, something you ran by me a couple days ago, and I'm going to apply it to this. We're talking about time, right?
Mhm.
If all of humanity was wiped out, and people, history, everything, would the concept of time still exist?
No, the concept wouldn't, but that gets to a very interesting question, which is would anything exist?
Yeah.
Because if there's nothing to experience it, it's almost like it doesn't exist. I thought about this when I was in college. It's kind of like the Zen koan. If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. And I always thought, well, yeah, there's just no one's gonna hear it. So I kind of missed the point. But here's the way of thinking about it that really got me. So I was looking up all, multiple universes, and there's different kinds of universes. Like some universes are like completely isolated, like they don't interact with any other universes. Some universes are like merging together almost, and there's like an overlap. And some universes are within bigger universes. So think almost like universes are these little bubbles, and they can be bigger, smaller. Some can be inside, some can be merging, some can be isolated. And I was thinking, well, what if there was a universe that was one of these isolated universes, and it was never going to interact with any other universe, and there's no life in it. It's just a bunch of rocks floating in space that no one's ever going to see. That's just totally by itself. Does it even exist? And I was thinking about that, and it kind of dawned on me, like, wow, actually, in a way, it doesn't exist. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, I think humanity likes to, put categories on everything. So being that and the thought of like we have everything is categorized as like, it's a sandwich or it's a boat or it's certain things like that. That's what makes it so it's understandable that we know what it is. So having an empty universe, it's like we can think of it, but no one's ever gonna, say there is an empty universe. This is probably plausible or whatever because there's no interest in it.
Hmm.
And this is all speculation. Maybe there is interest. I don't know. That kind of dawned on me just a second ago. But you know, again, it's if a tree falls in the forest, it makes noise. Does anybody hear it, or does it exist?
Hmm.
Um, sometimes things like that get overlooked because people are trying to find these things that we can put A and B together that makes C. That's kind of just like, I don't think anybody would think about that. I don't know. Maybe there's a whole fucking or whole a cult following out there that follows empty universes. I don't know, but
Hmm.
I know devil worshippers worship Santa, or dyslexic devil worshippers worship Santa. So that's there's all types out there, and I think the other thing you're bringing up is multiple unit or universes. There was something you said that kind of got into my mind. So it's called the Mandela effect, and it's where say like this is our universe, and this is another universe very similar to ours. So one of the things was, and it was famous, was there was a march in Germany or Russia, whatever, and there was these tanks and stuff, and they were like showing military force, and some guy got ran over. It never had. As far as I remember, and people say some people remember it never happened, and some people say it happened. And the reason why that was is because people say that it merged, and two universes where something happened didn't happen. Another example is, and I forget what the hell that's called. I can look it up, but I don't remember. Another common one is like Oscar Mayer. Everybody knows it's Oscar Mayer Wiener, right?
Hmm.
No, it's Oscar Mayer. When has it been Oscar Mayer? It's spelt Mayer, and everybody remembers it as Oscar Mayer.
Hmm.
Everybody remembers. There's even a freaking song, Oscar Mayer,
Yeah.
but it's spelled Oscar Mayer. So, that's the thought that merging. No, those are his thoughts. Who the hell knows? Maybe they just changed the name. I don't know, but you would think it'd be more waves about it if it did.
Remember the Berenstein Bears?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's actually Berenstein Bears, and
What?
nobody remembers it being Berenstein Bears, but that's how it's spelled, and that's how it is apparently.
That's Mandela effect.
Yep.
That's crazy. Sometimes I wonder, you know, it's so much easier to sit in an area like my room or be in my room and be oblivious to things. It's kind of like sticking your head in the sand. But once you start opening your mind, by the way, when you stick your head in the sand like I do, it it's very lonely and it doesn't help your mental health. It if you literally feel like you're just letting time pass by and waste away. But the more I sit here and I talk to people, go out of my room and hang out with people and get out of the house and do things and interact and do what normal people do, and have fun, my mood improves. We're very social people. We're very social beings as humans. And I think a lot of us think that introverts are able to go without, interaction. And I don't know anybody that can do that for their whole life without going crazy. Um, so I think one of the big things for mental health, I think that plays a part in that is just getting out and being part where or taking part in like being with other people. I don't know how the hell I digressed to this, but um I'm so random with things, but no, I was just thinking about it like how oblivious I am to things like science and everything until I sit down and I start thinking about it and I talk about it with others, like this podcast. It it opens many windows of thought.
Windows of thought.
Windows of thought. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm locking that one in.
Okay.
Final answer.
But
Front flip.
shut up, I don't care.
Mhm. That is I'm 7. Say everybody I'm 7. Uh, well, you think we should call it on that?
Yeah, that's a good way to call it.
Before we go, we have to do our little thing.
Okay.
So you gotta do it with me.
All right.
Up, up,
Up, up,
up, up,
up, up,
up, up.
up, up. All right. Goodbye,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Yep.